Hello and welcome. My name is Will Ortega and this is Tips and Tricks with ProPricer. We'll cover useful tips in ProPricer to help you leverage your time better and get things priced. In today's episode, we're going to talk about resource field mapping. What is resource field mapping? This feature filters the available values in consecutive resource fields. All this scenario is based on the value entered in the previous resource field. Basically, this attribute was created so users could minimize mistakes when they do inputs in ProPricer. In order to establish this relationship, let's navigate to the proposal properties. And what you will see here is a folder called Resource Fields, which contains two different grids for general: Resource Field Global or Proposal Specific, and then the mapping area, where you can map one to another depending on how you want to create the dependencies. In my next example, department is going to be my primary field, and depending on what department to choose, you're going to have a set of functions that you will choose. And depending on what functions codes you choose, you're going to have a set or limit of resources that you can pick. So, once you find a correlation, you're going to come down to the resource info value mapping and create an actual relationship. For instance, I have 5 departments, and I'm going to open Electrical Tech Department by clicking the plus sign. So you can see that the only check values for the subgroups are ENG01 and ENG02. So it means when I click the department Electrical Tech in the proposal, I will be limited to select values ENG01 and ENG02 because of the mapping functionality. Then if I pick ENG01 and look at my resources, the only resources that I'm going to be able to use are Operations Associate and Tech Ops ENG, because everything else is unchecked. So, if I pick ENG01 in the proposal, I will be limited to select only those 2 resources. As you can see, this is going to be a one-time setup, especially for those users that use proposal templates, or when they create a new proposal, all these settings will be already there. Let's open the proposal and see how we can use this new feature. Actually, there is 2 ways to establish this relationship. The first way is if you already have mapping established. You will see the option to click on the 3 dots or ellipses here, which will bring up this screen to pick your resource. So, as you can see in the resource mapping window, you will see every single possible combination. At the same time, you can use the filters to select the resource you're looking for. For instance, I'm looking for the department Electrical Tech. You can see the subgroups codes are only for ENG01 and ENG02. And if I want to look for ENG01, you can see that the only resources that you're able to pick are Tech Ops ENG and Operations Associate. As you can see, it makes it more restricted to your selection. So you can see that it will automatically populate those resource fields from the mapping section. The other way around is to use the functionality in the way we set it up. So let me regroup the columns in my middle grid so I can start with my department, followed by the subgroups, and finally with that resource column. This will be my correlation base. I'm going to start by selecting my department Electrical Tech, and when I go to the subgroup, I only have these 2 options because I set them up on the mapping. Then I'm going to click ENG02 and I see on the resource column one single resource, Operations Associate, that is available because that was established by the resource field mapping. To review what we covered today, resource field mapping was created so users could minimize mistakes for those that are doing inputs in ProPricer. It also provides you a hierarchical structure of your resource field mapping based on your dependencies. It is a one-time setup and allows the administrator or proposal manager to set up this relationship. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with your colleagues who use ProPricer. If you have any questions about ProPricer or maybe even some tips and tricks of your own, please email us directly. Who knows, your tip might just end up in our next video. Again, My name is Will Ortega, and as always, thank you for watching.